Hey folks, Rob Avis here. I'm here with Jeremy Johnson, and today I'm at the Green Building Technologies Lab here at the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology. And we've been working with Jeremy over the last few months, testing his modern hut, his modular container home. And today we're going to be going inside one of these 10 by 20 foot container homes and seeing all the systems that he's got in there and how spacious this tiny little container actually can feel. Jeremy's going to go through his energy system, how little energy it takes to heat the unit, how the kitchens are built, how the bathroom is laid out, and I'm sure you're going to end up having questions, so stay till the end and make sure that you leave comments at the end of the video, and I'll make sure that Jeremy is aware of them so he can answer them as they come up. If you're interested in finding out more about Modern Huts, I'll also leave a link to their website in the show notes below, and you can get in touch with Jeremy directly. Let's take a look at the container.
All right, here we go. My name is Jeremy Johnson. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, and my company is Modern Huts. What Modern Huts does is we build modular container homes that are built from shipping containers, and then we can expand from that and make larger footprints for a mobile use for any project location. Yeah, so with the size of the structures, we can work with the container themselves being either a 20-foot or a 40-foot container, and then we'll put them together, piece them together however it needs to be to get to the size that the client is looking for. So we can start with one 20-foot and go up to 4 20-foot containers to get a 640 square foot house, and obviously beyond that to fit whatever the client needs. The construction process with our container homes is we'll start with a one-time use container, go through and do the metal fabrication for cutting the holes for the windows and doors, clean the unit out, and then start our rough-in for the inside, so plumbing, electrical, any trades that need to be inside. Then we spray insulate our units to get our R value and our proper airtight sealant. And then we go into finishing materials, boarding and things like that. Right now our base model is R24 for our walls and R40 for our ceilings. Obviously the unit behind us, we did a little higher R value, so we're at R24 spray insulated with R40 in our ceiling. What we typically try and do is set our framing back so that we can get spray foam on the whole perimeter of the steel on the inside, so that we have no thermal transfer other than our windows. So that's basically our R20. We end up with a little better R value than a standard stick frame because you do have a lot of air loss, even through vapor barriers and things like that.
So what is the air infiltration rate on this unit?
This unit here, we tried to do a test on it, but because it was a prototype, the way the back of the unit is designed, we weren't able to do an exact air filtration test, and so we're working on how to get around that. Yeah, so I have clients in 2 homes here in Calgary, and we lived through last year. They lived through last year's winter, which was exceptionally cold for February and March, and there was no concerns at all about keeping the heat on and still having it very efficient.
So how much heat does this unit require to stay warm?
This unit here, we're just working off of one 1500 watt heater, and even that is just running very, very intermittently. It is not running full time.
So this unit, I believe, is off-grid, right? Like it's completely self-contained?
Yes, so this unit here was designed with solar panels feeding into a lithium ion battery system, and that's what drives the unit. Our solar isn't quite optimized to the point where we'd like it to be, so sometimes if it's cold months, we do have to do a generator backup to increase our battery load. But yes, this unit's run off solar.
And how does sewage and water work for this unit?
So for this unit here, it was just for a prototype for moving it around to different locations. It is set up so that we can either put it on pump out tanks or else directly tied into sewer and water if someone did want to have it somewhere long term.
Have you ever used composting toilets with these systems?
We have not worked with composting toilets yet, but a lot of clients are asking for them. And so we're just weighing the pros and cons, and with the right client, it will work out, definitely. The codes are still sticky, so in the city they don't allow the composting toilet yet, but rural properties, certain jurisdictions do allow for it. Again, it's just where you live and talking to the right people to make it happen.
Are those jurisdictions in Alberta, or are they outside of the province?
I believe there's a couple in Alberta that allow it, but more so in BC. They're a little more easygoing or forward thinking. So depending on the size of the unit, we can go off of just like a gravel pad if it's something small like this and just wood blocked in the corners. But if you're going to a larger structure, then screw piles is your easiest bet. But you can also do, we typically use ICF foundations to do concrete. So there's a few of the standard technology that you can use, but screw pile is the easiest, especially on a rural property. And then we do an insulated skirt to hoard it in. We have also talked about harvesting rainwater on these projects. We have again not tested it yet, but the process is fairly straightforward. It's the space and a location that we can put a holding tank to hold that rainwater. But it's definitely a possibility, and this year would have been a great year to test it. Yeah, just waiting on the right project to make it happen.
So is there a water tank inside of the unit?
At the moment, there's no water tanks in this unit. We just have it set up just to show as a unit that's livable, but there is space for a water tank if needed. So for a water holding tank for this unit, we figure we can get at least a 30-gallon tank to fit in. For this small of a unit, you'd only have 1 to 2 people living in it. So why don't we take a look inside, and we'll let you into this unit. So on the outside of this unit, we threw a steel barn door, and the reason being is this unit gets transported quite a lot, so just for security and protection in transport. And also it's a good selling feature for our rural clients that are not at their property all the time. It's nice to be able to lock it down. As we enter, so this is inside our semi-autonomous container home. So what we've done here is basically tried to compact a whole entire house into the smallest footprint as we could so that we can transport it around to certain events. With this unit here, we tried to use as many renewable and recycled products as we could and still get a decent looking product at the end. We used fir 1/4-inch ply on the walls just to give it a little bit of a softer feel to it. We also did a tongue and groove on the ceiling just for motion because we knew this unit was going to be moving multiple times. So we were able to have a little better function with that. And then as you walk into the bathroom, it has drywall and things like that to show that we can work with many different mediums for our wall and ceiling board. With our flooring in this unit, we used an engineering hardwood, try and be a little more natural. We also use vinyl plank or natural hardwood or any other substance that someone's looking for a product for the interior. We're very flexible. We base our model basically on custom, so we'll work with the client to get what their end result is in the unit. And our kitchens here that we use in our units, it depends on the price point for the client. We do custom kitchens, but we also use IKEA. With our IKEA units, we like obviously the price point is what the client likes, but we also like that the mandates and things that the IKEA stands behind, that they're really aiming to be a very energy and renewable type client or company. So we like what they stand for. So with these units, we like nice and sleek, easy to use, modern cabinets, and the hardware that they use is as good as the custom companies that are out there. So you know you're getting a decent product. So with our container home here, we have cabinets here that open out, a bit of a space saver as opposed to doors and drawers that open out. Above, we left a little bit of space so you can have some storage, things like that. As you walk through with this unit, we have a fairly small sink, but more than manageable for the size of the people living here. A 2-burner stove. We'd like to go with induction or something like that too, but depending on the client's price point is what we work with. And then on this unit, we went with a full-size fridge just for our test model, but obviously fridges can be adjusted to the size that people are looking for. And then on the lower side, we also went with pull-out drawer cabinets just to maximize as much storage as we possibly could in as small a footprint as we could on this unit. And our countertops again too. This is just an IKEA standalone countertop. We'll also do butcher block, and we can go into our granites and Caesar stones also. So for this unit, so that we could fit it all into the square footage that we needed, we added a full-size shower and a full-size toilet, but we had to opt out of putting a sink in, so it's just a shared sink with the kitchen. But with most of our units, we can get a full-size tub and a sink and everything into our larger units. But with this unit, we just wanted to show that we can get a bathroom in it and that it would be functioning if we were tied into water and sewer, and just give everybody the same illusion that the unit is usable. With this unit here, we tried to open it up with the patio doors off the side and the large window off the end, but still have enough usable space that you can have a couch that folds out into a bed, and you still have wall space for pictures and things like that. If you wanted to add shelving, you could do that. On this unit too, we've partnered up with a number of companies. So we have our solar panels into our lithium ion batteries and into energy management system. And then on the inside, we also have our home automation. So we have our cameras, video, TV, and security, and climate control also, all through the home automation system. So on this unit here, we went with a little 1500 watt heater, electric heater. Reason being that we went with a baseboard heater on this unit is actually it ties in with the energy management system that we're working with, so that we can physically see when the heater is on. It will actually offset if the stove's turned on. So we're able to do a few things like that so that we're not overloading the batteries at any given time, and that we're not running too many heat units at the same time also, to maximize our efficiency. So with our container homes, we typically will leave the container doors on, especially for a rural unit. With this unit here, we actually put all the mechanical behind these doors. So as I open it up, we can show off what's behind it. So what we have here is we have 6 solar panels on the roof that feed into microinverters. The microinverters and the solar power then runs through the household electrical panel and into the lithium ion battery bank. So this battery bank, this side's the battery, and this side has actually a management system for the battery. And then once it comes out, it goes back into our panel. Back in the panel now, our energy management system actually reads all the wires that are in there, so we know, or we can monitor every load that's happening inside the unit. So we know exactly how much draw we're using at any given time. And this is also where we have the computer part that actually turns on and turns off different items inside the unit to not overload our system. And then from there, we also have our home automation system. And so this is your stereo entertainment unit, video, security, and the control modular for the climate control for the unit. And below that, we also did another electric heater just in case, because the lithium ion batteries like to have a little bit of warmth. Okay, so this is a lithium ion battery system with a battery management system. So with this unit here, we can store enough power to last us about 3 days without any power or without any sun, depending on the temperature. If it's cold, then obviously our power goes down a lot significantly faster. So this is our electrical panel for the unit. It's fairly small because we don't have a lot of things inside. You'll see our heaters are on here. This is our main breaker. Other things for the odds and ends for plugs and things like that. And then this one down here is actually our solar, so we can turn our solar on and off, especially during transport. So in here we have our home automation system. Elan is the product that our home automation guys like to work with, and so it has all the different components in this unit for doing the sound, video, and security and climate control. So with this unit too, one of our partners, Unico, also does electric car chargers, and so we've added an electric car charger on the side just to show that we can do it. This is on a bit of a trickle charge. We had to downgrade it to meet the battery specs, but we are able to charge a car from it. We actually did test the owner's car and got it charged up a little bit. I don't know the details on whether a charger can send power in the opposite direction. I believe it's allowed, or not necessarily allowed, but I think it is doable. But I'm not sure the ins and outs of that. I know we were charging a Tesla, and it's kind of a mute point because the Tesla actually has a larger battery than we do in this whole unit. So.
Okay, guys, hopefully you found that interesting. I certainly have. I've learned a ton about container homes today. And like I said, I'm going to leave the link to Jeremy's company in the show notes below, so make sure you check that out. And if you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comment section. And if you found this useful, give me a thumbs up and share it with a friend. All right, thanks so much, Jeremy.
Thank you.
All right.